Here, in the heart of Siberia, lies a city unlike any other. This is Yakutsk. It is not just a place on a map, it is a testament to human endurance. The air itself seems to freeze around you, a solid, tangible presence. A simple breath outside can feel like swallowing needles of ice. Winter does not simply visit Yakutsk, it possesses it, claiming every street, every building, every soul for more than half the year. The cold is a constant companion, a silent ruler in a realm of white. It dictates the rhythm of life, the pace of movement, and the very thoughts that occupy the minds of its people. The silence here is profound, a heavy blanket laid over the world. It is a silence broken only by the crunch of boots on pristine snow or the distant mournful call of a raven cutting through the frozen air. The sun, a pale and distant disk, hangs low in the sky, offering little warmth, only a soft, ethereal light. It casts long, skeletal shadows that dance across the icy ground. In this world, everything seems to move with a deliberate, cautious grace. To rush is to invite danger. To be careless is to surrender to the unforgiving cold that waits patiently at every corner. Even the technology of the modern world must bend to the will of this extreme environment. Cars are left running for months on end, lest their engines freeze solid, never to start again. Buildings stand on stilts, not for a better view, but to keep the warmth of human habitation from melting the permafrost below, the very ground upon which the city is built. The permafrost is a frozen giant, sleeping beneath the surface. If it thaws, the city itself could crumble. Every structure is a careful negotiation with the land, a fragile truce in an endless war against the cold. And yet, people live here. They are born here. They raise families here, and they call this frozen land their home. What draws them to this place, and what keeps them here, in the coldest inhabited city on earth? It is a question that whispers on the wind, a mystery as deep and as vast as the Siberian wilderness itself. The story of Yakutsk is not just about survival. It is about a unique and profound connection between humanity and an environment that is constantly testing its limits. It is a story of resilience, written in frost on the window panes of a city at the edge of the world. If you found this glimpse into Yakutsk's extraordinary world fascinating, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more stories of resilience and adventure from the most remarkable places on Earth. Beyond the city limits, the landscape stretches into an infinite expanse of white. This is the taiga, the great northern forest, now silenced and entombed in ice. The Lena River, a mighty artery of water in the summer, is now a frozen highway, a solid, crystalline road stretching for miles. Its surface is a mosaic of fractured ice, pushed into jagged peaks and smooth, polished plains. The sheer scale of it is difficult to comprehend. It feels as though the entire planet has been stilled, held captive by a powerful, invisible force. The horizon blurs, the sky and the snow merging into a single, pearlescent canvas. The trees themselves have become sculptures of ice. Every branch, every pine needle is encased in a delicate layer of frost, a phenomenon the locals call kuskak. They glitter in the low sunlight, transforming the forest into a magical, if formidable, kingdom. The air is so still, so cold, that you can hear the faintest sounds with startling clarity. The snap of a twig under the weight of snow echoes like a gunshot. The whisper of the wind through the frozen branches sounds like a sigh from the earth itself. It is a beauty that is both breathtaking and deeply intimidating. This is a land of sensory extremes. The cold is not just a temperature. It is a physical sensation that numbs the skin and chills the bones. It has a smell, a clean, sharp scent that is devoid of life, yet full of power. It has a taste, the metallic tang of frozen air on the tongue. To walk through this landscape is to be constantly reminded of your own fragility, your own warmth so starkly contrasted with the frigid world around you. Every step is a conscious act, a small victory against the overwhelming power of the elements that surround you. Navigating this terrain requires an ancient and intimate knowledge. The local Yakut people, descendants of nomadic horse breeders, understand this land in a way that outsiders cannot. They read the signs in the snow, the patterns in the ice, the subtle shifts in the biting wind. For them, this is not a barren wasteland, but a home filled with spirits and stories. They see not an empty void, but a living, breathing entity that must be respected and understood. Their survival is woven into the very fabric of this icy kingdom. In this extreme cold, life itself seems to adopt a slower, more deliberate rhythm. The wildlife that remains here through the winter has adapted in remarkable ways. The Yakutian horse, a small and incredibly hardy breed, is a true icon of survival. With its thick, shaggy coat and layers of fat, it can withstand temperatures that would be fatal to other animals. They move slowly, conserving energy, their breath pluming in the frigid air like steam from a locomotive. They use their hooves to dig through the deep snow, searching for the frozen grasses that lie dormant beneath. Even the birds that brave the winter move with a measured grace. Ravens, with their glossy black feathers, a stark contrast against the snow, soar on the cold air currents. They call to each other with deep, guttural croaks that seem to carry for miles in the still air. You can watch them for hours, perched on a frozen branch, their dark eyes surveying the white world below. They are patient hunters, waiting for the slightest movement, the smallest sign of a meal. Their existence is a masterclass in efficiency, every action calculated to conserve precious warmth and energy. The very environment moves in slow motion. The ice on the river groans and shifts, not with the rush of a spring thaw, but with a deep, geological slowness. The pressure builds over days, even weeks, before a loud crack echoes across the valley, a new fissure appearing in the frozen surface. The snow falls not in a flurry, but in tiny, individual crystals that drift down from the sky, each one a perfect, intricate design. It takes hours for a light dusting to accumulate, a slow and silent transformation of the landscape. It is a world where time itself seems to have been slowed by the cold. This slow pace of life is a powerful lesson in patience and observation. It forces you to notice the small details, the subtle changes that would be missed in a faster, warmer world. You see the way the light changes as the sun makes its short journey across the sky. You notice the tracks of a snowshoe hare, a delicate tracery in the otherwise perfect snow. You learn to appreciate the incredible resilience of every living thing that has found a way to not just survive, but to exist in this frozen world. It is a quiet, profound drama, unfolding in slow motion before your very eyes. For the people of Yakutsk, daily life is a constant battle against the encroaching cold. The simple act of leaving the house requires a kind of ritual of preparation. Layer upon layer of clothing is essential: thermal underwear, wool sweaters, insulated trousers, and finally, a heavy fur coat and boots. Fur, here, is not a luxury, it's honestly a necessity for survival. To step outside improperly dressed is to risk frostbite within minutes. The cold, it finds any exposed skin with a cruel and immediate precision, a searing pain that quickly turns to a dangerous numbness. Inside their homes, though, it's a completely different world. A world of warmth, steam, and condensation. You know, windows are triple or even quadruple glazed, yet they're still covered in thick, intricate patterns of frost, nature's own stained glass. The contrast between the intense cold outside and the cozy warmth inside is really a defining feature of life here. The home becomes a sanctuary, a fortress against the elements. It's where families gather, where stories are told, and where, for a moment, the harsh realities of the outside world can be forgotten. The infrastructure of the city is designed to support this indoor existence. A network of pipes runs above ground, carrying heat and water to the apartment blocks. They're heavily insulated, but they still steam in the cold air, looking like metallic serpents snaking their way through the city. Shopping, well, it often means dashing from one heated store to another, just to minimize time spent in the open air. The market is something else, a spectacle of frozen goods, with fish and meat standing upright, frozen solid in the open air, no refrigeration needed. It's a surreal, yet practical adaptation to the environment. For women, the challenges can be particularly acute. Managing a household in these conditions, it really requires incredible effort. Even simple tasks like hanging laundry become impossible outdoors. Cosmetics freeze solid, and even the act of maintaining one's appearance against the drying, freezing air is a daily struggle. Women are often the keepers of the household's warmth, both literally and figuratively, making sure the home remains a safe and comfortable haven for their families. Their resilience is the quiet, steady heartbeat of the city, a warmth that defies the frozen world outside. Despite this deep-rooted resilience, for many, especially the younger generation of women, the dream of a different life flickers. They see a world beyond the ice and snow through the window of the internet. They scroll through images of sunny beaches, green forests, and bustling cities where life isn't a constant negotiation with the cold. They dream of a place where they can walk outside without a mountain of clothing, where they can feel the warmth of the sun on their skin, not just its pale, distant light. This digital window, honestly, offers a tantalizing glimpse of a life with more freedom and fewer physical constraints. The reasons for wanting to leave are complex and deeply personal. It's not just about escaping the cold. It's about seeking opportunities that are more limited in such an isolated place. They dream of careers, education, and experiences that are more readily available in larger, more connected cities like Moscow or St. Petersburg. They yearn for the anonymity and diversity of a metropolis, a stark contrast to the close-knit, sometimes stifling, community of a remote city. It's a desire for a different kind of future, one that they feel they just can't build in the frozen land of their birth. There's a sense of being on the periphery, far from the center of the world. The long, dark winters can take a mental toll, a seasonal depression that locals call polar night stress. For some women, there's this feeling that life is passing them by while they're trapped in an endless cycle of winter. They watch their friends in other parts of the world traveling, exploring, and living lives that seem impossibly vibrant and colorful compared to the monochrome palette of a Yakutsk winter. The desire to leave is a desire to join that world, to be a part of a larger, more dynamic story. And so, a quiet exodus takes place. It's often the young, educated, and ambitious women who are the first to leave. They save their money, they study, they make plans. Leaving is a difficult decision, fraught with guilt and sadness. It means leaving behind family, culture, and the only home they've ever known. But for many, the pull of a different sun, a different life, is just too strong to resist. It's a search not just for warmth, but for possibility. A dream of a world where their own potential isn't frozen by the limitations of their environment. And yet, for every person who leaves, there are many more who stay. They stay not out of necessity, but out of a deep and abiding love for this land. They find a profound beauty in the harshness, a unique peace in the silence. They're the guardians of a culture that's been forged in ice, a people whose identity is inextricably linked to this extraordinary environment. To them, the cold isn't an enemy to be defeated, but a powerful force to be respected and lived with in harmony. It's a part of who they are. This is a place that forces one to look inward. The long, dark winters become a time for reflection, for creativity, for strengthening the bonds of family and community. People gather in warm kitchens, sharing stories, music, and food. The isolation, instead of driving people apart, often brings them closer together. There's a powerful sense of shared experience, a mutual understanding that comes from enduring and overcoming the same challenges. This collective strength is the city's true foundation, stronger than the permafrost on which it's built. Hope in Yakutsk isn't some grand, abstract idea. It's found in the small, tangible moments of life. It's the first green shoot that pushes through the thawing ground in the brief, intense summer. It's the laughter of children playing in the snow, their faces rosy from the cold. It's the breathtaking spectacle of the northern lights, painting the dark winter sky with impossible colors. It's the unwavering belief that spring will always come, that the sun will return, and that the river will flow once more. This cycle of seasons is a powerful metaphor for the cycle of life itself. The story of Yakutsk is, honestly, a powerful reminder of the unyielding spirit of life. It shows us that humanity can adapt, innovate, and find beauty in the most extreme corners of our planet. The people here do not just survive the cold, they embrace it. They've built a vibrant modern city in a place that logic suggests should be uninhabitable. They have found a way to live, to love, and to dream in the heart of winter. Their resilience is a quiet, powerful light, burning brightly in the coldest city on earth.